We got video recording. We got audio recording. And now I'm going to press buttons that make it go. It starts. Oh, wrong page. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Look, pot marks take the time. Even steel wool can't do the job. But watch Ajax with blue chlorin. Just a soft sponge and pot marks gone fast.
Well, that's the quitting fart. See you Monday.
The morning stream. Oh no, the bad apes have the crystal lasers.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to TMS. It is the morning stream for January 31st, 2023. I'm Scott, and that's Brian. Hi, Brian.
Correct. Welcome to the final day of January 2023.
Oh, my gosh, it is. Hey, speaking of dates, did you know that I'm going to be insufferable about this? Because at the end of this year, we are going to have a 1-2-3-1-2-3.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, no kidding.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. I'm going to be the worst person that ever
No
podcasted
kidding.
in the morning.
It's really funny, too, because I was like, wait, 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
1, 2, 3. But really, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Correct. Okay, I got a fashion question just real quick. I noticed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm definitely the person to ask about that.
I'm wearing this Horde assembled hockey jersey that I got years ago.
Right? Yes.
And I always forget why I don't wear it on air, but now I remembered. And I'm just wondering if this is if you're supposed to in hockey jerseys, if this is just a built-in feature, or if this is unique to this shirt. But it gives me fake little shoulder pad increase.
You look like Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show with those, Scott.
I don't like it. It bothers me. I feel.
Oh, really?
It feels. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to look bigger than I am or something. Or
Sure.
I don't like it.
Well, that's to threaten your predators. Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I don't really even notice it. But yeah, I guess I know you say it. It's like, yeah, it looks like extra padding. But I think for a hockey jersey, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
If this was a blazer, I'd say sure. Well, welcome back to the 90s Remington steel.
Yeah,
but
no doubt. Or a little bit of the late. What was that show where they all had the Miami
Designing
Vice?
Women.
No, that's even better. I don't want to look like a designing
That was
woman.
the worst offense to shoulder pads ever in the history of television. Was designing women.
I think you have nailed it there, sir. No offense to fans out there. I know you exist.
It was actually a character on the show, just shoulder pads.
Yeah, her name was Shoulder Pads. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Delta Burke's good pal, Shoulder Pads Jr.
That's right. Exactly.
Hey, check this out. So, the great thing about our audience, I'll say, there's many good things about you guys. You're all pretty cool. Yeah. But what I like about you is you hear us say a thing, and then you're very quick to write in and either correct us or educate us or answer a question we may have had or whatever.
Just provide a guess as to something.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And we're 100% here to field your guesses and your thoughts, all right?
By the way, before anybody writes in, Remington is still completely in the 80s. Did not even cross over into 1990.
Oh, is that you know what? I heard you say that. I didn't even question it.
And I think it was just because I associate Pierce Brosnan with the 90s, even though.
Oh, that's true. I guess he had left that and was on Bond Road by then, or
he was on Bond duty.
Yeah, that's true. Because geez, we got GoldenEye was what 94,
95,
95. Yeah. So it's like
and
you're
Die
right.
Another Day was 2002. Tomorrow Never Dies. World Is Not Enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still think your shoulder pad thing holds though.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, forget about dates. Those shoulder pads were bad.
I course corrected with a Designing Women reference, so nobody noticed.
That's a true magician. You just are doing sleight of hand. And,
that was me staring into the skid. Anyways, we love our audience.
We love them. They're great, and they answer great questions for us. So, for example, Carlos wrote in. I'm sorry. This is in response. This is Luke in Boulder.
Carlos's original.
Correct. If you guys remember, I'll read Carlos's again. He said, "Hey, Scott and Brian, what's with the Fang, F-A-N-G, Carlos?" All right, this was the other day. Right. And we were like, we don't know. We tried to suss it out. We don't know. So we get this message from Luke in Boulder. He's right there near you. Who still, he says, by the way, he still hasn't ever had Brian as a Lyft driver.
I would love that. I've had, I've given a ride to one person who knew me, but she was a former roommate of Tristan and Kay, but nobody else. Like I haven't had like a, oh my God, this is the Covermobile. You're Brian from Coverville or TMS or whatever. But not yet.
We've got a guy up the road who is the nicest guy, and I never talk about him because I never know if it's okay to say his name on the air. But he has like a doppelganger dog of our, like, looks just like Ripley.
Yeah.
It's the nicest guy, and he's been in here forever. And whenever I pass him, it's always lovely conversation. He listens to I don't know how many shows. He's listened to The Instance for years. Anyway, I forgot to mention he showed up on Christmas with like a nice plate of homemade goodies.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
He's super nice. I just don't know if I'm allowed to say his name because he lives so close. I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. He'll write it and tell me.
There you go.
Anyway, so we got this from Luke, who says, regarding the guy who wrote in about the word fang, my guess is he was referring to your recent TMS episode that was titled TMS 2411, Paging Dr. Tang. Texts are typically typed out on phones. Phones autocorrected. Tang to fang. Ipso facto, there you have it. I mean, yeah, okay, but why would you say what's with the tang?
Yeah, two sticking points on this. Then you're saying, what's with the tang, which you were saying is like, well, that doesn't make any sense either.
Just as
makes
confusing.
less sense actually than fang. Also, tang is a word wouldn't really get autocorrected.
I don't think it would.
Not just the product name, but that a girl I kissed has a certain tang to her.
Yeah. I get it. I see where you're headed.
Why is that the first thing that came up?
I don't know. I'm going to type out tang. Yeah, it doesn't autocorrect anything. It just does tang. Tango and tangerine are other options, but I don't get anything that corrects. Let's
Maybe
try.
he meant what's with the tango and cash. Maybe that's it, and it got autocorrected to fang.
Well, then the answer is it's a great 80s. I think 80s. It's a great 80s movie. Go watch it. There you go.
Yeah. Oh yes. Sure.
All right. Well,
you guys, you destroyed my car. Oh, you guys.
Dude, that movie. We did film sack that, right? My memory.
We
is
film sacked the crap out of that, and I don't know that as far as like guilty pleasures, that's right up there with Hudson Hawk for me. There's something just dumb that I love about that movie, and it's Rats in a Maze, and it's the dude with the massive jaw.
Yep.
You broke that jaw?
It also felt like prototype buddy cop, what we were going to get from now on type movies. Like a lot of buddy cop movies were based around that, or it was just the prototypical one.
I think it was prototypical. I mean, we'd gotten Lethal Weapon before that and a couple other ones, but still it cemented that buddy cop like formula
and took itself way less seriously than, say, even with all the joking around in Lethal Weapon movies, they took themselves a little seriously sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I like Tango and Cash because they're just like, F it, we're blowing everything up, we're having a blast, it's all good, let's go. Tango and Cash, worth your time, everybody, even in 2023.
Yep.
Okay, now,
yes.
as I just said, people often write in with helpful information. Sometimes they write or call in with weird things, and I don't know what to make of this call we got, so I'm going to play it. Brian's first hearing of this. He hasn't been prepared here.
Nope. This is good because I get to hear it fresh, blind.
That's right.
I get to hear it blind, basically.
Here it is. I got this via our phone number, our voicemail line, 801-471-0462, and this is what he said. All right.
Okay, now I see why you were commenting about the noise I made when you called me on the Discord this morning. Okay, all right.
You were doing your little music jam, and it reminded me of that.
So, all right. So he's the caller is creepily excited about a box of Tartan Tinies. Maybe
that's what it sounded like. It sounded too bassy to be like Tic Tacs. Is like more
maybe, but definitely one of those long flat boxes of candy and hard candies in there. Could even be Mike and Ike's.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah,
or hot tamales.
Because it was more of a box, right? Not a tin.
It was definitely a box. Oh yeah, it definitely wasn't a box or a bag or a tin.
Because I have a tin here of unopened. What are these? Something called mints with a Y. I don't know. My wife got me these.
Mints.
These must be a hint and a mint. Anyway, this is still
Yeah,
in
I think
shrink
so,
wrap,
exactly.
but that doesn't sound the same. Let's play his again.
No,
Hold on.
no.
Hold on. It's close.
Could be a 10. So
don't
it could
know.
be Altoids.
Could be. But why? Why grunting and breathing weird and then shaking Altoids at the thing? What's the deal?
Let's try the Altoids.
Chat says Junior Mints.
Could be Junior Mints.
They're so refreshing.
See, there's the Altoids.
Oh, that is okay. Hold on. Do more of that. Yeah, I feel like
bassier.
yours is closer. Yeah, there's a little more bass to it. Let's see. I know it's hard with a phone call anyway because it's so tinny.
Yeah.
But I don't know what. Now some are suggesting in the chat that was Brian Dunaway, which is not so far fetched. You know, Brian's known for being a bit of a goofball sometimes, and he used to call me all the time and leave me weird voicemails. But he usually said who he was or didn't change his voice or tried to hide it. Let's see if I have one of those old things.
Okay.
And we'll compare it here. Okay, here's where he called me and said stuff. This is back to see. This is 2014. Brian Dunaway. Here we go.
All right.
Mike Monday Monkman is level 20. Scott Johnson.
Okay. Don't know what that was. And then there was this one.
Hey, dude, this is Brian. Just calling you. Brian Dunaway. You remember me, right? All right, bye.
Oh, wait. Said something at the end. I forgot.
Hey!
Oh, okay. And then this one.
You know what I call that? I call that cheating.
No, that's not it. Okay. Well, I have another one somewhere where he's even weirder. But the point is he always announces himself.
Yeah. He doesn't disguise his voice or just fail to announce who he is.
Yeah. So
By the way, do you want to see why I have Altoids tins? So this is a still sealed in plastic Altoids tin right here.
Yeah.
Because I haven't taken it out and enjoyed the Altoids in it.
Yeah.
This is the one that I previously enjoyed all the Altoids from so that I could 3D print Switch card holder.
It is. So was that 3D file made for that exact tin?
Yes. It was made for Altoids.
Amazing.
So like you can, just pull out your little...
Amazing. Have you been tempted to do the little toaster I've seen floating around? You put the two little cartridges in and it actually ejects the cartridges. Yeah, it's a 3D. It's a 3D print, but I don't know how you do the spring part. I don't know how you make them pop. Maybe it's just a lever and it's not fancy, or I don't know. But but the one I saw is a 3D printed little toaster. It fit two of them, and on one side you could flick the thing, and the thing would go chunk and stick out. And you'd
really,
take it out.
it'll pop them up. That's kind of cool, actually. But I mean, that's only holds two. Then we've got the Mario brick.
Oh, I love this one. Yeah, this is good.
And then you open it up, and it's got your Switch games.
Oh my gosh, how many Switch games do you own that are physical?
Well, a 6 in there.
Oh my, you have more Switch games than I do. Well, I guess I have a lot of digital. You probably
have a lot of digital.
Physical, yeah.
7 in here, and probably like 3 or 4 still in the box.
Oh my Lord. How many of those games have you finished?
Most of them, actually.
Really?
Switch games are easy for me to finish because I can do those like sitting on the couch while Tina's watching some show or while we're watching some show. I can actually finish.
I do that.
I mean, if it's, Astroneer is one of them. And, Astroneer is digital, but I'll never finish that because they keep adding new stuff to it. There's a whole new thing now with Astroneer. So
I heard about that. I wanted to ask you if you tried it, and I kept forgetting to ask.
I have not. I've gotten back into Astroneer, but because I bought it on Steam so that I could play it on the Steam Deck instead of the Switch, way better control system with, way better control system with keyboard and mouse, honestly. But so I'm back in on Steam, and I had to start over with new planets, so I'm only on the 4th planet, collecting all the stuff so I can...
It's awesome. Let's see. It's on sale right now, too. They must be... Oh, it's this Awakening update.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did they add here? I'm trying to... You're making me want to play.
Whole new quest line and all that stuff.
I might have to play.
I think you will, yeah, because I think you told me that you got off the first planet and then you start playing something else.
Yeah, I just got busy. I've had that game since early access, so it's just always sort of been there.
Way longer than I have.
Yeah, but you're way further than I ever got. But I love that game.
Technically, I finished the game to the point that it was released when I finished it, but now they've added 2 extra things. I've never built a rail system on any of my planets. They added that after I finished, and then there's this new thing where there's like a whole new being that you're helping helping with stuff in your planets.
I like it. I like beings.
Stuff.
Beings are cool.
Yeah.
All right, I have to check out that update. That sounds awesome. I've been completely hooked on Hitman. The Hitman update they added. So this is crazy. They took the first 3 games, Hitman 1, 2, and 3, the 2016 game, the 2018 game, and the 2019 game, whatever they were. I don't know how they're spread out. And they mushed them all together. And if you already owned Hitman 3, then you just have it all. But they all of those games are now one game, and it's called Hitman World of Assassination.
Cool.
And so all the campaigns are in there, all the extra content's in there, all that stuff. Right now it's like $38 if you don't already own it, or it's on Game Pass. The entirety of it's for free on Game Pass.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Anyway, they added a mode called Freelancer? Yeah, Freelancer, where you have your own safe house that you're trying to build out, and you go do missions that are kind of randomish.
Yeah.
And you do these campaign missions, but there's no saving. And if you fail, you really did fail, and you lose any items that you took with you, like any of the guns you unlocked, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like really like higher stakes, which just makes it a very intense experience, and it's addicting as hell. That thing has its claws in me so bad. It's really good. Anyway,
that's cool. I need to. I played the first one. I need to go back and play some more Hitman. Did you? It looks like you've started playing Dead Space. It's the brand new Dead Space.
Yeah,
right?
The Dead Space remake. So it's a complete remake of the first game.
Right. Okay.
And it's really good. Carter and I played it on stream the other day, and we're going to try to finish it either tonight or tomorrow. But we're super into it. It's really good. Like, that's cool. It looks insane. It looks so good. It's just boggling my mind. But they really knocked it out of the park. Like I like when remakes really go for it and don't just up-res a few things and say it's a remake or whatever. Yeah, I like it when they really go nuts and like really, really remake it, and they did that here. They added stuff. There's all kinds of quality of life improvements. The way the zero gravity stuff works is totally retooled. It's cool. It's really, really good. So
speaking of things that look good, I'm gonna make a horrible admission right now.
Go.
That I thought I'd been watching 4K for 8 months now, and I haven't been. I've got a 4K Apple TV, and I've also got a 4K like Omni Amazon Fire TV, right? Does 4K, does HDR10, whatever, 10 plus.
Yeah.
So had all the pieces. Between those two items is the receiver that does all of our audio for the 7.2 surround sound in our living room.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until last night that we were watching The Last of Us episode 3, which is excellent, that I realized, wait a minute, this just doesn't look like 4K. And
everyone, I think there's so many people that do this. I don't think you should feel bad.
It's like, I thought, all right, well, it's just going to pass the signal through the receiver. Like, basically, the receiver is just a junction and not doing any processing or anything, so it shouldn't matter. But no, apparently it doesn't matter. You need a freaking receiver that has 4K. So what we're going to do is here's some fun technical talk for all you people out there. Gonna totally rewire things. I don't have to replace the receiver, thank God, because I don't want to spend $300 on a new receiver.
No.
But no, we're gonna have it just means more wiring through the walls. Have the Apple TV go into the TV, and then the TV out audio into the receiver, and never change anything on the receiver. It'll always just be.
Oh yeah, because that's just an HDMI spec uptick, right? To get 4K.
Exactly.
And that thing doesn't support it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bet you more people run into this than you think, because as it turns out, all of those features minus a little resolution still look incredible, right?
Yeah.
So like even 1080p.
It was enough of an improvement that I thought it was fine. But then I started doing, like, I was noticing when the credits came up.
Yeah.
And I was wiping the tears from my eyes that a purely black screen, and then the text coming up, there was like a couple little artifacts that came up with lines connecting it to the side that we normally wouldn't see.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. It's like, if this is 4K, it should be looking a lot better. So
yeah. That must have been annoying though, to realize it. You were like, wait a minute.
A little bit. Yeah. It's like, no, now it was partly annoying. And now it's like, oh my God. So it's even going to look better than this. Cool.
Oh yeah. No, that's a good point. Sure enough. That was my first concern when I first fired it up, because I was like, I don't know if this is, how do I know any of this is really running at 4K? And so I had to figure out what how the TV would tell me. So if I'm playing a 4K game at 120 frames, how do I actually know it's at 4K and not like 1440 or lower? And so I had that same thing, when I first hooked it up. But I don't have any in-between hardware other than the consoles to mess around with that. So I think I was 4K from the get-go.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you probably were.
But TVs today, man, woo!
Oh, I know. And 4K is not, there's 8K now. So it's like, I was looking at receivers and saying, well, I'm not going to, if I'm going to buy a receiver, I'm not just going to get a 4K. I'll get one that does 8K so that when I eventually upgrade everything else, then.
By that time, 16K will be around the corner. So.
It totally will. Yes.
The problem is with we are definitely to the point of diminished returns. As your 6 months probably showed you that, even now we're at diminished returns over 1080p. So it's like, 8K doesn't drive me. I'm not like
right. You're not going to say, "Ooh, it's going to look more realer if I get an 8K TV."
At some point, my eyes aren't going to be able to tell the difference. The content being produced isn't going to take advantage. Like there's all that stuff. But at some point, like it's like when someone tells you this thing supports 184 million colors.
Right,
yeah, the human eye can recognize 64,000. What are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway,
I can only recognize 256. I'm
You're VGA. You're VGA Brian.
I'm VGA. Scott is my problem.
He's VGA Ibit. We called him back in the day.
Right.
Better than CGA Ibit. That was before.
Anyway, so that's a fun thing. Yeah, I already do have the high-speed HDMI cables. I've got the 4K cables, so they'll support that. But yeah, no, it's
that's funny.
So this afternoon probably be a little bit of rewiring, and then we'll watch Tar. Probably not tonight, trivia tonight, but tomorrow night we'll watch Tar in the highest 4K resolution that my devices will support, and Kate Blanchett will just look amazing.
Yeah, you know what you should do? You should watch Tar and then Birdman with Michael Keaton, and the reason you do that is that way you can say I watched Tar and Feather.
Wow, very good.
Do you see what I did there? Did you see?
Oh, how droll!
Yeah, very droll. All right, moving on. Let's get to some quality journalistic pressure here on the show. So enjoy this.
In the News is sponsored by. You'll find quality in our corner.
It's time for the news, and it's brought to you by.
The truth that there should never be a long, dark hair in your bottle of ibuprofen.
Oh yeah, that's true. So two things.
Sure.
Oh, that reminds me. So two pharmaceutical things. One. Big, long, dark hair in the ibuprofen. Brand new bottle, not one that where somebody's hair fell in it, although no one has
and
long
Kim
black
doesn't
hair.
have long black hair anymore either. Like
No.
She's got short purple hair.
Well, in fact, right now she's doing the Carter shave thing, so she's down to
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Zippo.
Wow.
So I knew it wasn't her. I knew it wasn't Carter. The dogs don't have hair like this. And the thing wasn't open. It was still sealed. So somebody at the freaking ibuprofen Kirkland brand factory manufacturing let their big ass hair fall in there. I know it makes me nervous not to. I kind of think I may take it back to him. I don't want to get.
Really?
Part of the reason I just listened to an 8-part documentary on the Tylenol killings in the 80s, and I'm not saying it's poison. I'm just saying all that talk about how these are impenetrable now. Whatever.
Yeah,
There's freaking hair in there now. Lame.
See, that's normally hair in my food. Yeah, I would absolutely be taking back hair and ibuprofen, like all little individual pills that won't.
It's probably fine, like you say.
anything.
I agree with you. It's like it's
But
not going to be
still,
anything. I just feel weird about it.
That is my thing. Is like, oh god, there's hair in my food. I just can't go any further.
It feels it feels like a security breach. You know.
It
I don't
is,
know.
yes.
I don't like it.
People should just do what I do: shave your head and your entire body. I'm smooth like a dolphin.
That's right. Then send all that hair to your friend who works at the ibuprofen plant.
Just dump this in your random bottle.
That's right. Then the other thing that happened is I opened a bottle of vitamins and did so in such a way that they exploded and went everywhere.
Oh no! Were you picking up little Dinos and Barney Rubbles?
I wish they were worse because they were these ones that are the same color as the wood flooring I have.
Oh no!
Ish,
really?
sort of, yeah. So they're just a little hard to see. So I had to go, and all of them came out. It's not like it's just a few. Like they all went everywhere. So I spent way too much time picking those up. So yeah, good times here at the Johnson house. All right, let's get to the news. Here is a story for you. Buzz Aldrin, dude, what was on the moon once, known for punching moon landing deniers.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Did you ever see that old video? It's a great old video. Someone in the chat will probably put it
Good.
in there. But somebody was going, "Sir, why are you perpetrating the lie that is the moon," or something like that. He just hauled off and punched him.
Oh, I love it.
It was like 80.
Like,
he was,
I spent all this time prepping and training and going into space and putting all this strain on my body for you to say it was all fake. All right, yeah.
Yep. There it is. Tally found it.
There it is right there. Thanks,
Yeah.
Tally.
He full on decks him just like a quick punch. And he was in his, I think, 80s then.
Nice.
Um,
Good.
Now he's in his 90s.
He has 0 Fs left.
That's right.
all
None left.
Yeah.
He is 93 years old, same age as who's the Royal Tannenbaum himself? Why can't they give his name?
Gene Hackman?
Gene Hackman, also 23 or 93
Also
this week.
93? Huh.
Anyway, the astronaut celebrated his 93rd birthday and is getting married as a result to a 60-something-year-old. So he's robbing the cradle there a little bit.
Robbing the 60-year-old cradle.
Yeah. Says his quote was, "We're as excited as eloping teens."
Aw.
Which tells me things. Anyway, on my 93rd birthday, that's a weird. That's a weird.
That's a weird.
That's a weird.
So actually got married on his birthday?
Yeah, it says on his 93rd birthday and the day I will be honored by living legends of aviation, I am pleased to announce that my longtime love, Dr. Annika Fauer, and I have tied the knot, he wrote. We were joined in holy matrimony in a small private ceremony in Los Angeles, California, and are excited as eloping teenagers. Accompanying this tweet were the photographs from the couple's intimate ceremony.
I'd be a little bummed, Ankafauer, because like I said earlier, he's got 0 Fs left.
Yeah, he's done. He doesn't care. the guy moves like Jagger. He's doing just fine, but I wouldn't mess with him.
Actually, yeah, no, he's got he does give off a not crazy old man, but like a hair trigger.
Oh yeah, no.
Like you don't F with him.
Yeah, he's a proud man.
Yes.
Don't mess with him. Here's that video, chat. If you haven't pulled it up yourselves, here he is, and he's talking to this guy, and then he hauls off, wham, right there in the beak.
Wow.
Yeah, then walked away. I mean, look, I would be tempted to. I mean, especially at that age, like F you, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
Oh, you don't think I went to the moon? Anyway, what was the point? Oh, so they got married. He got married. He got she wore a bridal gown adorned with rhinestones.
Aw.
Yeah, little Dolly Parton, Sylvester Stallone business going on there.
So she got married to a dress that definitely should not be singing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
what it is. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
We had this question for trivia last week, and we guessed Buzz Aldrin because you and I hadn't done this news story yet, but we did get it right.
Oh, was that the question? Was who got?
Yeah, it was what astronaut just announced their marriage to a woman 30 years their junior.
Oh, nice job. Because he's like the last one. There are no other Buzz Aldrin era astronauts.
No,
I don't think.
Right, I guess not. Right, all of the people from the Apollo 11 crowd.
Especially, I mean, what is he? Yeah, 93. So there's no, he's got to be one of the only ones, if not the only one left.
Yeah, OG.
Yeah,
he's the OG.
The OG. Don't mess with him. Here's stay in space for a minute.
Okay, all right, good.
I didn't mean for these to be
I was there,
order.
so I'll stay.
Oh, okay, good. Earth's inner core may have started spinning the other direction. Oh, boy. Uh-huh. Yeah, check your toilets. To throw back to another dumb topic we talked about.
Coriolis effect, everybody. Coriolis effect.
According to a new study, Earth's inner core, a hot iron ball the size of Pluto, has stopped spinning in the same direction as the rest of the planet and might even be rotating the other way, according to some research suggested on Monday. I hope I'm not...
Hillary Swank says she can fix it, by the way.
Oh, thank the Lord.
She's got this.
That'd be great. That, or can we get... with the original Superman back, he can fly around the world the other way.
Oh, sure, yeah, Reeve. Yeah, Christopher Reeves.
Reeves, he could do it. And Bobby, if we're usurping your story today, I apologize. I don't know if we are or not.
Oh.
Anyway.
I just heard him fly over me going, damn it!
Damn it! Says exactly how the inner core rotates has been a matter of debate between scientists, and the latest research is expected to prove controversial. By the way, this is roughly 3,100 miles below the Earth's surface. the planet within the planet. It's just like a little metal,
really wild.
not little, but Pluto-sized ball in there.
Yeah, that it's like, not connected with anything but magma.
Yeah, magma.
Magma.
Part of the reason it's controversial is because we have limited ways of measuring it. So here's what they say. What little we know about the inner core comes from the measuring of tiny differences in seismic waves created by earthquakes and sometimes explosions that you could call nuclear. That's how big they are. As they pass through the middle of the Earth. Seeking to track the inner core's movements, new research published by the journal Nature Geoscience analyzed seismic waves from repeating earthquakes over the last 6 decades. Wow. According to the study's author, this is from Zhendong Song and Yi Yang of China's Peking University. Oh, I love Peking University's orange chicken.
You have to order it a couple hours in advance, though.
Always, yeah. They don't deliver either. Kind of sucks.
No.
They found that the inner core's rotation came to a near halt around 2009, and then it turned in an opposite direction.
Wow.
Yep, that's pretty crazy. So
the
now
Earth's core is spinning in its grave, basically.
Yep. And now the science community around this stuff is scrambling to try to confirm that, back it up and then talk about it and debate it and all that. I love this kind of stuff. I just finished.
I do too. Yeah.
It'd probably be my recommendal, so maybe I shouldn't bring it up.
Oh.
Well, you know what? I'll just do it because I have another thing I can recommend.
Okay.
I watched Our Universe. I talked about this a bit with already, but with Morgan Freeman doing the thing. It's on Netflix. It's fantastic. And as mentioned before, it's like they go crazy with like this whole idea of we're down here talking about a monkey and its mother. But then we're going to zoom all the way out to the cosmos and talk about some parallels about how the sun was created and all this. And then back to the monkey and then out to space and then back to the monkey. And it sounds weird, but it works really well. It's really fantastic. Anyway, I've had this stuff on my mind. They'd have a heyday on that show about our inner core moving the other way,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine there will be a documentary series about this, kind of explaining what's going on. Although, it seems like there would have been one with the core coming to a halt around 2009.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
Yeah.
I guess they didn't know it until they looked at these measurements now. But what if that was, if it was catastrophic, we'd know it. We'd all be dead or whatever. But
yeah.
I'm trying to think what happened in 2009 that would have.
I was just going to say, we almost need a Twitter joke train of what happened in 2009 that caused the core to just stop?
Avatar in 3D. Star Trek.
Sure.
I know. Spock messing around with red matter in Star Trek.
That was that one. Oh, gosh. Okay.
There's your problem. No, Obama had already been in a year. He doesn't count. So it wasn't a presidency thing. Plus,
thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thanks, Obama. Another thing to thank him for. I can't. 09 was not.
I mean, he wasn't president until January of 2009. He was elected in 2008, but he didn't start the job.
Oh, until January. That's a good point. Yeah.
Until January.
Yeah. That's a good point. I don't know. Nothing. 09's a little it was the year I started. Oh, I know. That was the year I quit my job and started Frog Pants full time.
Oh, look at that.
That was it.
There you go. See, there it is right there.
That was, and it was also the first Nerdtacular Brian went to. Oh!
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wait, 2009 was? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Star Trek, I think, right? Isn't that the first theater one you came to? Pretty sure it was, because
Batman.
Were you there in 08? Okay.
I was there at Dark Knight, yeah.
Never mind. That wasn't it
But
then.
it was not there for Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, that was 07.
Yeah.
No, wait. Yeah, it was 07. We tried to do, what a weird year. We tried to do Transformers that year.
Yeah.
But we missed the dates on it, so we were like, what's coming up? Oh, Spider-Man 3, that last one was awesome. This will be a no-brainer.
It could only get better from 2 because 2 was so good, and now we've got 11 villains in this one.
Yeah. How can they go wrong? I have a list of how they went wrong.
Right.
The Black Eyed Peas, they're in the news. You like music, Brian? You're into music.
I'm into music, but that does not have any connection to the Black Eyed Peas.
Well, that's a shame.
They're going to be there's something coming up tomorrow night that is they're doing all the Schoolhouse Rock songs live, or not about live, but it's going to be an ABC special where they have new people singing, like Jason Biggs is doing "I'm Just a Bill," dressed up as a bill.
Jason Biggs.
Jason Biggs and the Black Eyed Peas are going to do something. And,
Who's Jason Biggs, the actor that was in Saving Silverman?
Jason Biggs, the actor that was in American Pie. That was in a pie.
That's weird. Okay, I didn't know he sang. Is that a thing we should know?
I mean, it's the "I'm Just a Bill" song. Very little singing is required for that sort of thing.
That's a weird one, though.
Yeah, but
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
But it's so weird. Like Femster, what's her first name? Fortune Femster is going to be unpacking adjectives. It's a weird. I want to say the Black Eyed Peas are doing verb. That's what's happening, but I'm not sure. I thought I remember saying that, but it's like I kind of want to watch this, but I kind of feel like it's going to be a train wreck. And
I expect bigger names than Jason Biggs and the Black Eyed Peas.
Right, and the Black Eyed and 2/3 or 3/4 of the Black Eyed Peas. I didn't see no mention of Fergie. This is really just going to be Apty App and Taboo getting together to sing verb. That's what's happening.
Well, every time she turns around, men look her up and down. How's it go? I forget.
I don't know.
That's the only Fergie thing.
Why how come every time you come around my London Bridge?
My fairy lady humps. No, that's not it. That's something like that.
Way to combine two horrible songs into one Voltron terrible song.
Yep. Well, you got to fight the big moth or whatever creature, so we got to come together. Well, speaking of my humps, the song, let's see, ripped off by Pooping Unicorn Toy. According to a lawsuit. So there's this Pooping Unicorn Toy that stole the My Humps tune.
Really?
And now they're suing. That's the state of things for the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, yeah, this is the one that you put on a toilet and it actually drops a poop in the toilet, like a little...
I think so.
Oh, I want this thing, but it's, I
kind of want one, too. They're expensive, though. $100 to $300? Yeesh.
No kidding. Jeez.
Anyway, so... It says this: if the toy tweaks the lyrics of a popular song, is it simply exploiting the market for that song without contributing anything to the cultural discourse? That is the big question. They'll have to answer sooner or later with the submitted legal stuff to the federal judge of the Southern District of New York after BMG Rights Management filed a lawsuit on Thursday. BGM.
That's kind of funny. Well, even BMG.
Yeah, BMG. Where you going, yo? I got to do a BMG. That's how you say it.
My unicorn's got to do a BMG.
That's right. Let's see. The manufacturer of Poopsie Slime Surprise Collectible Toy. Poopsie Slime. Yeah.
Poopsie Slime.
Surprise is the part I don't like. Anyway, it's a brand of slime pooping unicorn that currently retails for up to $300 on Amazon. In addition to pooping slime, the toy also dances to a song called My Poops. Whenever its heart-shaped belly button is pressed, the manufacturer, MGA Entertainment, has also produced an animation video in which the unicorns dance to the same song. According to the record label's lawyers, they are alleging that My Poops infringes on the Black Eyed Peas Surprise 2005 single hit. I love the surprise hit part. Surprise is a great word. My Humps, 75% of those publishing rights belong to BMG thanks to a corporate acquisition. Anyway, the suit claims and a review of the song's genius annotation confirms that the two compositions bear a strong resemblance. My guess is they settle and they pull it. Yeah, resentment.
Strong resentment.
Definitely has a common resentment. I'd play one or the other, except I know I'd get pulled for this. But
yeah, BMG might have an issue. I gave you a video, but
oh, you did? Okay, you know what? Yeah. I'll pause it for YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. Hang on, we'll be back.
It is absolutely correct in that it should have been Lovely Lady Dumps.
Yeah, Lovely Lady Dumps.
My dumps, my lovely little unicorn dumps.
That's amazing. 100% should hire you. You should work for the marketing company or whoever makes this dumb thing.
What you gonna do with all that dung? All that dung coming out of my bung.
My bung. B-U-N-G. It's my favorite.
Yes.
It's my favorite. Finally, here's a story I really like. It's a nice, sweet thing. All right.
Oh, good, because we need it after this. Back to space, it looks like.
Yeah, we're back to... I did not mean to do this, but back to space. Mars craters and cracks create an adorable image of a teddy bear. They got some imagery here, and you won't believe how cool this is. Look at this link here.
It's the biggest hidden Mickey ever.
Yeah. Now, normally, someone, back in the...
look at that.
I know,
that
it's super adorable. here's the thing. Obviously, stuff makes we're built to recognize patterns, and so there's that old face on Mars that looked like a head, but now that we have higher resolution shots of it, all those conspiracy theories got dashed because it's nothing like what we thought it looked like. But this straight up looks like a little bear.
It does. Looks like, I mean, especially the snout, right? I mean, the 2 dots for the eyes kind of relatively perfectly placed. But
needs ears though. Got to put ears on your bear.
It does need ears, yeah.
Yeah, what kind of bear has no ears? Come on now. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love it.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite stories of the year. I think it's
a god-awful small affair is what it is.
1.2 miles wide, that space, by the way. And it's hard to say what created like almost a perfect circle of cracks. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like that's unusual.
Like a meteor would have to kind of skitter along the side, and then another one would have to skitter along the other side. Like it's
Oh, here it is. They try to explain it. They say the circle encompassing the bear's head is actually a surface fracture that could have been caused by the settling of a deposit over a buried impact crater. The eyes were formed by two more craters, smaller craters.
Okay.
The most prominent feature of the bear's snout appears to be some kind of collapsed structure, or perhaps some kind of volcanic vent with lava or mud flows. Yeah, it looks like it like poofed up and then went bleh. But, humans, we see a bear. That's what we do.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, even a nice, sweet bear. All right, well, that was amazing. I loved it.
Aww. Yeah.
Thank you, NASA, for that.
Now, like, every time Bobby, they just took one of mine. All right, I've got this other one. Oh, dang it, they just took my other one. All right, well, I've got this third one. Dang it, they took the bear on Mars story.
Yep, every time. Oh,
gonna come on and talk about making a volcano with baking soda and vinegar.
I would love it if it all came down to that. Like, that's all he had left.
It's all I got left, guys. It's all I got left.
Oh, I would laugh my head off. Real quick, apologies. I guess, but as I'm doing this, the video playing to the side on the CBS News site is there's really sad protests for the stuff going on in Nashville, and it's just a crappy juxtaposition next to this cute bear.
I was hoping it was still the poopy unicorn Bratz dancers.
Yeah, that would have been better. I mean, not that isn't important. It's just a bad contrast.
Well, no, yes, exactly. Like when we're sitting there laughing about a bear on Mars, it's much funnier to have pooping unicorns than protests.
Indeed.
For sure.
I guess it does, though, remind us that we have a cosmic reality we don't think about very much. You pull the camera out a little bit and go, all of our petty, shitty, stupid stuff we do to each other on this planet, pretty small compared to a massive bear on Mars.
For sure.
All right, we are going to. Were they showing the actual beating? I didn't even notice. I apologize, Chad.
No, really?
I didn't see it. I didn't look.
I still haven't seen the video. I've seen descriptions of it, which I think are they give me enough of the of what I
saw part of it the other day.
atrocities.
I had to turn it off because it was so bad. It's just like so brutal. And then I saw one today where this guy. I couldn't tell where they were. They were inside of some sort of store. And the cop said, get down, put your hands on your head, get on your knees. And he did exactly what they told him. Yep. And they walked over and just beat the shit out of this guy. Just really? Clocked him. I'm like, okay, this story about just comply.
Yeah.
That didn't seem to work for, Junior whoever was in there. And I don't know what he did. Did that guy shoot at them? He didn't look like it.
Oh, really?
They say get on your knees, put your hands above your head, and then came over and clocked him? I don't get it. I don't know if I buy that shooting thing. Maybe they did. Maybe I don't know the whole story. But the point is, we gotta do better. Let's take a break. When we come back, Bill will be here talking a little bit of the maker world. Always love that. And then, of course, Bobby, who has no stories left because we usurped him on all topics.
Usurped!
Yep, you have been usurped, but we have not usurped Brian on his song selection, so tell us what you picked.
I have picked, listen, we've talked about bedroom pop, we've talked about shoegaze pop, we've talked about, obviously, J-pop, K-pop, all those other letter pops. What we haven't talked about yet is outlaw pop, and you might be thinking, well, we just talked about Pez Outlaws, is that the same thing? Well, no, it's not. It has nothing to do with that, and why did you even bring that up, Brian? But I'm going to tell you about a new artist named Devora. She's got a brand new EP called God is Dead. This is the title track from that. This is outlaw pop. It's kind of got a little bit of a pardon me, Ice Worm, a little bit of a garbage feel to it.
Oh, don't get him too excited. He'll get very excited.
I'm setting him up to really have anticipation of this because he loves garbage so much that nothing that I compare that to will ever be as good as garbage. But it's like if Lana Del Rey replaced Shirley Manson in garbage, maybe.
Oh, man. All right.
Anyway, here's the song God is Dead from Devora.
Crunch, quench. Meet the great American quencher, Lipton Iced Tea. It has more quench because it has more brisk flavor than other iced teas. Why? The Lipton blend and the flow-through tea bag.
Are you going to step down or eat dirt?
The Morning Stream. Stop eating my sesame cake.
We've returned. Tell me more about the garbage-sounding people.
Sure. That was Devora from her brand new EP called God is Dead. That is the title track.
Oh, nice. John C. Devora doing
John
great
C.
work.
Devora. She, she knows how to use a soundboard, so she'll come and teach us how to do it.
Those guys. So funny because it was like 2011, but we still bring it up. I love it.
Silly podcasters.
Yep. What do they know? Let's see. It's bill time, right? Yeah.
It is bill time. Yes.
I was like, who am I doing now? Oh, that's right, Bill. Let's get Bill in here. Let's talk about makers and making and the making of things right here, right now.
Your bat cave's open there, Bill.
Bill Duran joins us from punishprops.com, located in the Pacific Northwest and servicing the world with fantastic new creative ideas. And he comes on the show on Tuesdays and talks about some of those. Bill, welcome back.
Hello.
Dude, I feel like you were just here. I don't know what happened to last week. Last week was a blur.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time means nothing. Just gone.
Yeah, you're telling me. It's almost February. It's almost time for me to go to jury duty. So that's what I look forward to.
Yeah. Are you? What? Tell us more. Are you gonna do one of those tricks where people go in and they say, "Is there any reason why you whatever?" And you go, I shit myself just now, or whatever it is.
That's a wedding.
Oh, that's a wedding.
Yeah, why?
No, I
should not be married.
I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my civic duty, but I'm going to complain about it the entire time.
Yeah, sure. Nice. Well, look, Seattle needs you. Okay, wherever you're doing it, I don't actually know, but your great state needs you, and so you'll do your duty, and then you'll let us know back how it went.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't.
I'm basically like Batman, right?
Yeah, you're like Batman.
And when I show up in a Batman costume, they'll understand why.
That's right. What would your signal be, by the way, for Punish Props? They put a big signal in the sky. What would it be?
The outline of a foam floor mat.
Perfect.
I don't know what the symbol would be, but it'd be made out of resin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be square, just a big square in the sky.
That's right.
Fantastic. Yes. Well, Bill, having you here is always a good time, and I like the creative flow of it. So, what did you bring today?
Oh, this is fun. This touches everything I like. Have you guys ever watched any video game console restoration videos?
I have, in fact, done that because.
Really? Video game console restoration.
We had some discussion on Play Retro about this, and I can't remember what the console. I think it was an old dirtied up Genesis, Gen 1 Genesis that somebody had to clean out and do, and it was weirdly satisfying watching that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the restorations on YouTube are a big thing. Cars. What else? Tools. I really like tool restorations. Matchbox car restoration. I think I've brought that up before. Video game consoles, cars, tools, old toys like Tonka trucks. Really satisfying to see those get redone. But yeah, there's a whole section. If you go over to YouTube and look up your favorite console with the word restoration, you will find several options for that specific console. And the Nintendo consoles are very popular. A lot of NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, N64, that sort of thing. But you'll find pretty much any any console that you had growing up, someone has found a crusty old version of it and fixed it up.
Yep.
It's like a version that was buried along with all those ET cartridges in the New Mexico desert.
You're not wrong. Like this Genesis one I'm looking at right now and showing the chat is so gross. Like where did they keep this damn thing? And also look at how industrial this dude's gloves are. Like
I know, yeah. Like the way he's holding it with the gloves, it's like, was that in shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder. I've seen. I watched a different video. Someone was pointing out that sometimes people will do a restoration video where the thing they are restoring has been artificially made to look much worse. I guess gun restoration videos are a thing, and this is something that people do sometimes. So I don't know. Sometimes I see someone with like video game console that looked like they pulled it out of a honey bucket.
Yeah.
But then they clean it and it looks all pretty. So the more dramatic the change, the more exciting it is, I guess.
I feel like this video, this Sega one that Scott's showing, I feel like maybe he's got the camera too close to what he's doing. Like
it's
he
a little,
probably yeah, he could afford to pull it back maybe a foot.
Yeah, a little bit. I know people want to get detail, which I guess some of this is
sure
fun, but yeah, I'm trying to think. I have an old 2600 that looks like this, that's this beat up. That wasn't mine. I got it at a garage sale. And my intent was to do this very thing, to go through it and not make it work, but just pretty it up. But part of me wants to have, like, I kind of want to mount the nasty ass thing, you know? Because then it's like, oh, it's from the 70s.
I swarm.
Yeah, I want to mount the nasty ass thing. But I don't know if I've got it in me. Like, I don't know. You people with, like, I love video games that make me do this. One of my favorite chorecore games, a game called Electrician Simulator. Ooh. And you take old electronics that are sent to you and you got to make them work again. But part of it is you got to clean them and you got to dig stuff out and like clean out contacts and replace parts and buy new parts and all that. So I've done this process in a very digital way before. But telling me I got to do this with a real physical thing, it just sounds like a headache.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can do it. But Bill could do it because Bill loves that
Bill
stuff.
could do it.
Could.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
When I was reminded that I haven't purchased an old system. We have a couple. Brittany had a her old Game Boy that she found at her mom's house. And it didn't need a ton of work, but she did clean it up a little bit and got it working again.
Oh, nice.
Although we did once buy a Nerf blaster from a Goodwill that someone decided to load with gummy bears before giving it to the Goodwill. So that was a fun little find, and that was one that we had to clean out.
Oh my gosh! Wait, how did they do that? They just filled it full of them, like just
yeah. It was a child who decided to try and fire gummy bears out of their Nerf blaster, and they didn't come out because they don't come out.
Wow.
So we found them.
That's amazing. If you ever did, if that kid's listening and you ever did find something that will shoot gummy bears, let us know what it was.
Oh
yeah,
cool.
Right.
It's very
so cool. That can be a part of the experience with these console restorations too, finding all sorts of fun stuff in them. One of the
watching him actually like clean even the PCB with alcohol and spray and stuff like that. That's crazy.
I'm sure
really
you got to use like distilled water, and there's all kinds of tricks to that, right?
Yeah. Stuff that won't corrode or
denatured alcohol will do it.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff. One of the things that's really common, especially with the Nintendo consoles, were all made out of that injection molded gray ABS plastic, and if they were sitting near a window, they get that yellowing.
Yeah.
So a lot of the ones you see have a ton of yellowing, and they figured out a way to handle that. So you'll see these guys they'll strip all the electronics out, and they'll put the yellowed plastic in a bucket with, I think, hydrogen peroxide and then UV lights. I believe that's the mixture. It may not be exactly what they do, but you can actually remove that yellowing. It's kind of bananas.
Oh, really?
Get it back to an almost completely new state.
Interesting. So I had a friend, he and I both had NESs, and we'd go to each other's house to play. A couple years into owning them, his was yellow as hell, and mine wasn't. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, is it I thought it was light or something. His dad was like a chain smoker, and it was freaking cigarette smoke, man.
Wow.
He had the yellowest, nastiest thing. I bet it might be easier in the long term, but maybe it's easier to clean that or fix that than it would be light damage or whatever. But It was when he told me that, I was like, well, I'm not playing at your house, and I knew he smoked. You could smell it over there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get secondhand hit on your disgusting yellow NES.
No.
Yeah, it's gross. It's freaking gross. Anyway, I'm looking at NES one now. Boy, they do get ugly when they're dirty.
Yeah, they do. Whew. Yeah, but I mean, again, it makes the transformation even more
dramatic.
Fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of the other cool things too is there is now a secondary market for replacement parts for these consoles. So if you look up your favorite, let's say Game Boy, specific, even you can really specific, like Game Boy Color or whatever, you can find stores that will sell all the parts, probably enough parts to just build your own. But you can get all the different replacement electronics, the buttons, screens, speakers, all sorts of stuff. So, for example, Brittany's Game Boy had a scratched up screen. And we were able to polish it and it looks okay, but if we wanted to, we could just replace the screen cover or the entire the LCD screen as well. But the screen cover is the thing that was all scratched up. You could just peel the old one off, get a brand new one, stick it right on there.
Yeah, also very popular is if you get a Game Boy that's just, not working and you're not trying for accuracy or creating a whole new game, making it back to its original form, people are gutting those, replacing buttons, replacing screen, but using the shell to put like a Raspberry Pi in there and have, kind of the ultimate every game's on here sort of little emulation device, which is way more interesting because getting it in working original shape, I'm never going to play it. Like I'm not that interested in that, but I would if it had 4,000 Game Boy games on it.
Right. Yeah, we have that Game Boy, we got it all fixed up and we loaded up Super Mario or Dr. Mario or something, like neat. And we put it down and never touch it again.
Yep, that's true.
Something else people do that's really neat is they'll take their old Game Boy and take it apart and knoll the parts out in a nice pattern and frame it and put it up on the wall.
I do like that. That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. I mean, we had who was it? It was Wendy's husband that did that with a Game Boy or a Xbox controller, right?
Yeah, it was
to spell out "I love you."
Oh, that was no, it was her son. It was
her son. Okay.
Freaking Peter. Yeah, did that.
Right.
Pull it out and made words, but yeah, like if I had my. If I could do this, I'm sure I could figure out a way to pay my way there, but it's expensive. But I would love to have every console I ever owned done in that way, like exploded out and then under glass, and then you frame these. Like I've seen that stuff, and I think that is the coolest way to. Because I'm not going to go plug them in and play them.
The blueprints are great, but man, I'm just trying to figure out how much room it would take to have it exploded out, even sort of at an angle, but still have them separate so that you could kind of look. I mean, you'd have to have each thing like mounted on lucite or something, each layer.
Boy,
it would be really cool.
If you want to see a console that got real yellow, this Dreamcast I'm looking at, good Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, Sega, what plastic were you using? Because that's terrible. Oh, my gosh.
But look at that. I'm telling you that UV light hydrogen peroxide trick they do is able to remove almost all of it.
Yeah, it looks... I mean, he's got it back to that. It was never pure white anyway. It was kind of an off-white gray sort of eggshell thing, but I don't know what the original plastic was, but geez, that looked bad. Anyway, I respect this a lot. I don't know if I have the patience, but I respect it. And also, if I was going to do it, I might want to just have it gross and broken out and mounted. There's something about the vintage quality of that I like.
Sure.
So I don't know. I'm torn on that part, but as always, all this stuff is numerous and available on the fantastic website known as YouTube. And also punishprops.com is as well. So you're going to want to go check that out. Bill, what's our bonus link today? What are we doing?
So this is a restoration video. The channel's called Odd Tinkering. They do lots of different restoration type stuff, but they did a Game Boy Color that I thought was pretty great.
Oh, this the old jellyfish style 90s see-through deal.
Oh, I had one of those, the purple, I believe. Oh, so cool.
I had a yellow. No, maybe mine was clear. I don't remember what I used to think this was the bomb though. This style design. I don't know why they don't do it today.
Transparent.
Yeah, I'd buy. Look, I would seriously consider a Series X or a PS5 that did this today, even as a second console, because I just love the look of it.
What the hell happened to the display on this thing? Why is there a weird circular?
Yeah, that looks like somebody just wrote on it or something.
Or melted it with a torch or something. Jeez,
look at that thing. Yeah, this is the channel I've been showing the other one. So this when I was showing the NES one, same dude.
Yeah, good shot, really well too. Uptight shots when you need it.
Yeah,
not too tight
love those,
when you don't need
love those
it.
uptight shots.
Uptight shots.
He's he's actually replating the battery connections.
Yeah,
with nickel, which is pretty cool. It's something I'd like to figure out how to do, nickel plating.
Oh, that's really rad. And it looks like these buttons are second market,
Right, yeah,
replacements.
you could just totally order those. The screen, he probably just purchased a new screen, swapped it out.
Oh, so much work. I bet this is a 20-minute video. I bet this is what, 4 hours of work or more.
Right? Oh God, if not way more than that.
Yeah, probably. I bet I'm underestimating.
Yeah.
But anyway, fantastic stuff. As always,
Wow.
a pleasure, Bill. Again, punishprops.com and punishprops on YouTube. Also follow him on Twitter. He's a good follow over there at Chinbeard.
That's right. And those of you listening later, that post is up on quicktms.li. If you listen to this later and you want to see what the hell we're talking about.
Sounds good to me. Bill, stay out of trouble. We'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.
Bye now. Toodaloo.
Toodles. Dodles.
I don't feel like anyone said toodaloo except Bill in a long time in my life.
Yeah, no, I like it. I want to bring that back. Bring back the toodaloo.
Bring back the toodaloo. And don't
Bay
make
St. Louis toodaloo, you see.
Yeah, I love it. And have did you say Bay St. Louis just now?
No, East St. Louis toodaloo. It's the song that goes womp 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 womp.
Had you said Bay St. Louis, that freaked me out because that's Kim's hometown. That's where she was born.
Oh, really? Huh.
Well, I take it back. She was born in Nashville, but they lived in Bay St. Louis, and then she was immediately in Bay St. Louis the rest of her life until she moved out here. So there you go.
Huh.
Speaking of the Bay and St. Louis, no, none of those things, actually. We have Bobby with us, and we'll see if he has some science left after today's show, but here's his theme.
Science.
Bobby, are we all out of science now? What have we done?
Hold on, give me just another minute. I gotta dig through my... I don't know if I'm still looking for a science thing you haven't covered yet.
Oh, some good Foley work there.
Yeah, that is good. Did you just happen to have a box? You got a box of junk or something you can just rummage through, and
It's
that's
just
great.
my trash can.
Oh. Even grosser. Hey,
That
it's good
sounds
to
like
have
a
you
lot
here.
of paper in there, Mr. I Hate Recycling.
That's right. Get on the wagon. Hey, it's good to have you here. It's Bobby. He does a show called All Around Science, and he talks about science stuff all the time, and we're happy to have him here. He's also tomorrow's co-host because Brian's got a doctor's appointment or a what do you call it? A physical therapy appointment.
My physical therapy appointment.
Yeah, because that was kind of a hey, get it when you can get it. We made a little last-minute pivot, and you'll have to deal with Bobby tomorrow. All right, everybody.
Cool. Well, Bobby, I'll tell you my recommendals. You have to just act like you watch them and enjoy them as much as I did, and talk flowerly all about them.
Yes,
Sure
flowerly.
thing.
I like it. Bobby, what did you bring? I'm sure you have something.
Sure. So you told me that. So because I'm going to be on tomorrow morning, I had to get a little bit of work done ahead of time, and then also I didn't fly today, and so I did because it got canceled. I did some practice. I did a practice test because you have to take like a written test for the FAA. You know.
Oh, I didn't know that was part of this. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
like, you know how you have to do a written test for a driver's license?
Sure.
It's kind of like the same thing.
They even had to do that in Top Gun. They all had written crap they had to do all the time. Top Gun 1 and 2.
Yeah, there's a lot of studying you have to do. And so the test took a little bit longer than I thought it was. So I basically didn't have any time this morning to prepare anything. So I thought I'd talk to you about interesting things that you didn't know that have to happen when you fly a plane. How about that?
Oh, I love it.
Cool.
That's scientific in a way. Sure.
Yeah, it is. There's some aerodynamics that will be involved, I'm sure.
Okay. Great.
So the first thing that I always think is interesting one of the first things that I didn't realize when I went to learn how to fly a plane is when the plane is on the ground, you're like taxiing in the airport to the runway.
Yeah.
You have to steer the plane, of course, through the taxiways. It's like there's streets that you're driving the plane on. Those are the taxiways. You steer the plane not with your hands, but with your feet. Did you know that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is that true of all planes, or is this just big commercial planes, or what's the deal?
Well, I don't fly a big commercial plane. I fly a Cessna.
That's true. Oh, speaking of which, have you been back to doing it since the landing mishap, or no?
Yeah, so landing, almost crashing the plane update. I went back and the 2 days later, and the weather was a lot more windy that day. But I was anxious and nervous. In fact, I texted my flight instructor and I said, "Hey," before I got there, and I said, "Hey, I'm not sure what you had planned today, but can we just do takeoffs and landings because I really need to like shake this feeling that I have from that bad landing, and I need to get right back on the horse, you know."
Mm-hmm.
And he said I was fine, and I did great.
Oh,
I
good.
did. I did awesome.
Even in the wind, nicely done.
Yeah, in the wind, it's even harder to land, and so I did great. And then I got an impromptu short flying lesson a few days after that on Sunday, and it was totally calm, dead air, and I did great then too. I did 3 landings because that's all we had time for, and in those 3 landings, he didn't have to touch the controls at all. So I'm progressing steadily, and I'm over that close call.
You also had 3, I assume, successful takeoffs because you can't have those landings without takeoffs, right?
Yeah, takeoffs are way easier though.
Yeah. You don't even mention those. Screw those takeoffs.
Yeah. Those are easy. I mean, getting up in the air, piece of cake. Coming down, oh.
Yeah. You always hear, though, the biggest accidents or the place of the most crashes happen during takeoff or landing, though. Isn't that still true?
That is 100% true, and the reason is because of stalls. Do you know? So there's another thing I didn't have on my list here, but we could talk about. Do you know what a stall is?
Yes.
When you go straight or you go up too fast, too sharp an angle, and you...
Oh, I thought it was just what the ladies' room. All they have is stalls. There's no, no urinals.
It's what you use in a urinal if you're afraid in a bathroom. If you're afraid to use the urinals,
that's right.
Yeah, exactly. So Brian, you're right. So that's one way you can stall. That's probably the most common way you can stall is by pitching the nose up too high, too much, right? But technically, all a stall is when there is not enough lift being generated to keep the plane flying. So, and they say a stall can occur technically at any airspeed, at any pitch angle.
Oh, really?
Because all it requires
losing juice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is if all it requires is that there's not enough lift being generated. So that can that can happen in weird situations. But you're right, and that's why most accidents happen on takeoff and on landing is because those are the slowest airspeeds.
Mm-hmm.
When you take off, you're obviously at a slow airspeed because you're just getting enough airspeed to take off. So if you try to pull your nose up too high, the angle of attack, which is the angle of your wings to the relative wind, if you pull up too high, then that angle gets too high for the wind to get underneath it and generate lift, and then you fall back down. So you got to be really careful when you're taking off, not to pull back too much. You have to pull out just enough and keep an eye on your airspeed and make sure that your airspeed stays high enough.
When you're in the movies, whenever they depict a stall, the engine always kills. That's not true. Not always true, or maybe never true, right? That doesn't have anything to do with the engine. Or
the stalling doesn't have anything to do with the engine. An engine going out can lead to a stall if you're not careful. But even an engine going out doesn't have to stall as long as you are keeping an eye on your airspeed, because that's an emergency situation that we train for.
Mm-hmm.
Is an engine out emergency, and you can still land the plane. You just have to glide to where you're going to land, and that means maintaining enough airspeed to keep lift and not stall.
My mom says I landed in a situation like that, but I was too young to remember it. I have no memory of this. I was probably 3, but we landed, or a medium-sized commercial jet lost. It wasn't both engines, maybe just one. So again, I'm sketchy because I don't. That would be very rare,
unlikely
right?
For both engines to go.
Yeah, that would be super rare. I would assume it's like a redundancy that's just there. But they landed no problem. It was like no big deal. But I guess everybody was freaking out because
it's probably pretty scary, especially for the passengers to see, because you can probably see some indication of something going wrong, and you could feel it when it first happens. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what she always describes as like the plane had a weird.
It probably lurched to a certain direction, because when an engine goes out, even if there's 2 engines on each wing, if an engine goes out, that's one side of the plane that is not producing as much thrust.
Right.
So that means one wing will now be moving faster than the other wing, and so you can still fly the plane. It's just you have to account for that, right? You have to apply the correct, they call it ailerons, which are the things in the wings that cause roll to happen. When you turn the yoke back at the steering wheel back and forth, that's affecting
that's when the little flaps come up on the sides.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, exactly.
The little flaps. Boy, I'm ready for my test. Give me the written test.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll pass. No problem.
Flaps are technically something different, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So when she described it as centripetal, the feeling of centripetal force when you're holding like a bike tire, spin it, and then try to move it around. You know that feeling?
Yep.
Of pulling you kind of in a weird way.
Kind of like a gyroscope. Like when you have a gyroscope spinning, you try and move your hand and it.
Yeah, and it just kind of wants to pull you in a direction that you're not. Doesn't feel natural. Yeah. She says that was the feeling you had in your seat when it
probably because you have to imagine that everything that all the motion in a plane is all relative to the earth and gravity and everything, right?
Right.
So if the plane suddenly loses an engine, let's say it loses a left engine, so the plane is going to start to turn to the left.
Yeah.
Because the right wing is going to have more thrust. Well, the plane will yaw in that direction. Yaw is like if you were to set the plane down on the ground on like a turntable and spin it around, that's yaw, right? It's moving the nose left and right, not up or down and not rolling, but left and right. So it'll yaw to the left, but you were just a second ago going forward very quickly, and then the plane suddenly yaws to the left. You're still going to have a tendency to go forward, which will then be relative to the side of the plane, right?
Right.
Because the plane is turning. And so you'll feel it in your seat. You'll stop. It's not like you're going to smack into the to the other side of the plane, but that's where that feeling comes from.
Right. Well, I'm glad I don't remember it, if I'm honest. That's not something I remember.
It was probably very, very scary, and it's probably why she tells this story still.
Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, sorry, I derailed you. You were heading a
direction. No. That's these are all really interesting. So yeah, you steer the plane with your feet on the ground, and the reason you do, and the way that happens, is the pedals that your feet are on are called rudder pedals because they control the rudder of the plane. Right, the rudder is that tail that sticks straight up. On the back of it, it has a flight surface that moves back and forth, and that's called the rudder. So yeah, you control that rudder, whether it's deflected left or right, with your feet.
I had no idea that was where you controlled that. Did you know that, Brian? I always assumed it was some hand thing for that stuff. I had no idea it was feet. Did we lose Brian? Oh, he's
no,
here.
I'm still here.
Oh, here. You didn't hear my question.
Did what?
I asked you a question. You didn't hear it?
Oh, I didn't hear it. No,
weird.
I heard, you just said, I thought it was hands and not feet. And I said, huh? Is that a question?
Oh, no, yes. I said, hey, Brian, did you know that? It wasn't hands, and then I didn't hear anything.
Oh, I heard you say something, but I think it was the same time Bobby said something.
Oh,
so
it says stupid Discord. Yeah. It's a Discord. I was playing Discord.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so that's interesting. So I'm picturing like Flintstones, but that's not right, right? Like
No, because I'm not putting my feet on the ground.
Right.
But you control the rudder with your feet, and the reason that's how you steer on the ground is because turning the yoke doesn't do anything, right? Because you're not going fast enough for the wings to generate lift. So that's what turning the yoke does is changes those ailerons on the left and right wings, which would cause the plane to roll, but. And even if you were going fast enough on the ground, you don't want to roll the plane when you're on the ground. Otherwise, you'll crash on a wing into the ground, right?
Yeah.
So what you do is as you're moving, the rudder moves, and it causes the tail of the plane to move left or right, which causes the plane to steer. There's usually also a cable connected to the front nose wheel as well, which helps turn with the rudder, but most of it is in the wind going across the tail, and that's how you steer.
Like two pedals that pull it in different directions, or is it like one thing you put your feet on and kind of move it back and forth?
It's two pedals, one under each foot, and so
Gotcha.
you're absolutely right. And it's a little weird to get used to because you're so used to a steering wheel, right?
Yeah.
And so you might imagine that pushing your right foot forward, at least in my head, because when you push the right foot forward, the left will come back a little bit. And
Sure.
so in my head, I imagine that that's akin to turning the steering wheel with your right hand going up and your left hand going down. So you would turn left, but actually pushing into the right rudder causes the plane to steer to the right. So you have to get used to that.
This is why people in flight games and racing games sometimes change the XY option to go the other way.
Yeah, invert axis.
Yeah.
Is the so does the flight stick? I know obviously that control, that's like your throttle, right? Forward
no.
and back. No.
No.
Oh no, that's to raise and lower the
Yeah, the
the
flight
ailerons.
stick
Yes.
or the yoke. Mine has a yoke. That controls the either they call them elevators and ailerons. Elevators are on the tail, which cause you to pitch your nose up and down, and ailerons are on the wings, which cause you to roll left or right to turn in the air.
But there's no left and right movement on that thing. So I always visualize the, of course, why wouldn't I? Like the Tron light cycle controller, or any flight simulator home joystick like that, where it does left and right too. Does that not go left and right? And if it does, what does the left and right? What would that control?
It doesn't go left and right.
It just doesn't go left and right. Okay.
Yeah.
So when see, we've been misled by video games.
We've been
and stuff.
misled by tons of Logitech game.
Now, to be clear to people who are
accessories.
listening, you're talking about how you can twist the stick, right?
No, just moving it left and right, but keeping.
Oh, no.
you'd still
If
be
it's a
keeping the trigger forward, but moving the.
Yeah, if it's a stick, if you're using a stick, you can move it left and right.
Okay.
But what does that do then?
That controls the ailerons. It causes you to
so,
roll. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so the left ailerons would go up, right ailerons. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So some of that is accurate for like flight sims and
that's
stuff like that.
accurate.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So okay, here's my question. You're a guy who drives a car, right? I assume you drive a car here and there.
Yep.
When you had to get used to the way these foot things work, is there muscle memory that's like brake or clutch or gas, or you know what I mean? Like I feel like I would go into my car brain and want to treat those pedals like I always treat pedals when I'm on the road.
So yes and no. For the brakes, there are actually brakes on the wheels of the plane. So, and those are also on the pedals. It's weird. It's extra controls that you have to get used to. Pushing the rudder pedals in your feet forward and backwards causes the rudder to move. But they also have what are called toe brakes. So you push your toe, like you push the pedal down with your toes to apply brakes and you can apply differential braking. So you have left and right brake controls, and you can apply one, the other, or both.
Okay.
And that can actually aid you with steering on the ground.
So when you hit the tarmac there, I always thought it was something automatic kicked in. Like, and I guess it is. You're saying it does, but you can tweak that or control that or
maybe
augment it.
I'm sure there's a lot of automatic stuff happening on airliners. On mine, so the primary way that you slow a plane down once you hit the runway.
Yeah.
Your wheels have touched the ground. You're on the runway. You do not use the brakes because you're just going to burn the brakes, right?
Okay.
Because you're going so fast. The primary way you slow the plane down is what's called aerodynamic braking, which is you slowly until it comes all the way back into your lap. You pull the yoke all the way back, because that causes the elevators on the tail, which are they deflect and come down, basically generating more air resistance, and it's like an air brake. You can think of it.
Yeah, you always see that too if you're by a wing and you look out and it's like you see that thing go down hard or up.
Yeah.
I guess maybe is it up or down?
Up for the brakes, yeah.
Yep.
Like
And
most-
so you
yeah.
do that until you no longer feel the aerodynamic braking being effective. Once it's no longer effective, then you can apply the toe brakes.
If it doesn't slow fast enough because you got a big heavy plane and it's loaded. Do they just start chucking the big people out of the doors? Like, what do you do?
Every flight attendant is trained to be prepared to throw heavy people out of the plane.
All right. Okay, confirmed. You all heard it here. That's how it works. Every airline, that's what they do.
They talk to you about it.
yeah.
If you sit in the emergency seat, they talk to you about it. Have you ever sat in that one?
No. Actually, I have a couple times, but I'm definitely not the biggest dude on the plane, so I don't know if
they say that they tell you about how the door can open, and you have to assist, but they're kind of hinting at the fact that they can shove you out if they need to.
They're just going to boot you out. See, the way I would do it, if I was that pilot and things were not going well, and we weren't slowing as we were heading toward, whatever retainer wall or something, I feel like I'd just pull out all the stops. I'd push whatever button causes the two big raft things to poop out the sides. I'd do whatever you can do. Is there a button that'll just drop all the luggage out the bottom of the plane or something?
Eject. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
just stop. Eject. Exactly. I don't know if you can do that.
It's when it comes to landings, pilots of all plane sizes are very alert and aware of what's going on, because that's a critical moment. And if there is any indication that you would not stop fast enough. Now, I know this is for smaller planes. I don't know how it is for airliners because they're very big, but on a smaller plane, we're taught that if anything is going wrong or anything, then you immediately apply full power and then take off and go around.
Okay.
It needs to be all going well for you to commit to and initiate so much so that if you touch the ground, I'm taught that if I touch the ground and I hit hard enough that the plane bounces off the ground a little bit, then that's immediately, you don't even think about it. You just immediately apply full power and fly and gain altitude and go around.
Wow.
Because it's just an unstable situation. It's not safe.
We did that one time, but it was on our way home from BlizzCon one year, and we were landing in SLC International. And you can always tell when we're about to land because there's a big drop as you come down past the mountains. You just go way down.
Like air pressure drop kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yes,
you guys
right.
probably get this even worse in
We
Denver.
We get it. Yeah, because we come down. We have a little bit more distance between the mountains and the airport. Well, probably pretty close to what you guys have.
Similar,
on the other
but
side of the city.
Yeah, similar. But I think the way last time I flew to Denver, it's been forever. But when I did it, it was like. It just felt like you got over the mountains and then just went, hurrah, just like an elevator down. At least it felt like it. But this was one of those cases where there was a bit of that, and then it looked like we were going to land like normal, and all of a sudden, the power kicks on, and it flies up in circles, and the captain goes, ladies and gentlemen, we did that because there's a problem, or there's too many people on the tarmac. We're just trying to make sure we got room. And so that's a reason, not just you're going to crash or you got speed issues.
Absolutely.
But, okay.
Absolutely. I had to do that just recently on one of my flights. There was at our airport, some guy landed ahead of us and just was taking a really long time to get off the runway. And it is 100% illegal. The FAA does not like it. You are only one plane per runway. I think technically you can have more than one plane per runway at very large airports in very specific circumstances, but it's all being controlled by air traffic control. But in our situation, if there's another, you cannot touch down unless there is no plane. So I had to do that. That was just taking forever, and so I went around and took another turn. And I was really mad too because it was such a good approach. I was like, it was going to be a great landing.
Yeah, but your flight instructor's probably happy you did the right thing at the right moment and all that, right?
Yeah. That's one thing that you're learning is good decision making.
Yeah.
The steering with your feet happens in the air as well. Because you can do the same thing. It's just a flight surface. The rudder is right. So if you apply rudder pressure while you're flying, the same exact thing happens. You will yaw the plane left and right. And you have to when you're turning. So when you turn the plane, like let's say you're turning to the right, you turn the yoke to the right. There's this thing called adverse aileron yaw, and it's a very complicated term. But basically, what happens is when you turn the plane to the right, the reason your plane turns is because you have changed the shape of the wing, and the left wing now is generating more lift than the right wing, and so it goes up. And that's what causes you to turn, right? Mm-hmm. But because there's a fact in aerodynamics that when you generate lift, you also generate drag. It's called induced drag. It's just, without getting into the complicated physics of it, it's just a natural consequence of lift. Is drag is
creating friction with the air in it. Right.
Yeah, there's all sorts of reasons why, and air friction and the way air moves across the wing and stuff like that. So if one of your wings is generating more lift than the other one, it's also has more drag than the other one, which means that as you're turning, you start to yaw as well. So the nose of the plane will lift up relative to the horizon, which is an uncomfortable turn and also not very efficient. So you have to, when you're turning, also apply rudder to correct that and bring the nose back down to the horizon. And it's called a coordinated turn. And
well, I have one last
very
question.
hard.
I have one last question about all of that going south. Let's just say you've done it all right. Things have gone bad. Can you, in the plane you're in, I know you can't do this in commercial airliners. Is there an eject option? Can you can you maverick
all your
out of there?
questions seem to be focused on getting everything out of the plane.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't know why my head's going there, but can you goose is a bad example, but can you maverick out of that thing?
There's one.
I definitely don't want to eject like Goose.
Yeah, good point. But is that a possibility, or I mean, getting out of the plane in general? I guess it doesn't have to be an ejection, but can you both just like fly a door open and jump out, and you got parachutes and all that?
Sure.
I guess you could, but you certainly we're not told to do that. You can't eject. There's no eject button in a Cessna.
Okay.
But I guess you could open the doors and parachute out. But we're not taught to do that. We're taught to try to land the plane, right?
Right.
That's the safest thing to do for everyone, us and the people on the ground.
Oh yeah, people on the ground. That's right, because that plane's got to go somewhere. It's not going to hover down.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need to eject if it did that. It'd be cool. It would be cool if you guys ejected to the sides. You know what I mean? So instead of having a roof thing, you just go, no, eject, and you'd both just go flying out on the left or the right of the plane.
Opposite directions.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, that I want to see. I want to see that happen. It won't though.
That would be very cool. Some planes. Oh, what kind are they? I think it's a Cirrus. There's some Cirrus planes that have a parachute,
like a plane-sized
in the plane.
Parachute.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. So the plane,
So
like
you just turn everything off.
Yeah.
You're just like, can you shut everything off? Make sure the back door's locked. Okay, see ya. It's like leaving the house or whatever. So wait a minute. That's like the kind on cars where they do the races. Comes out the back and slows the plane.
Oh
or
yeah, right. Sure. Like
yeah. Why not that? They should.
No, it comes out the top. Actually, I just saw TV's Egon put a link and shows a picture of the parachutes that I was talking about.
Oh, that's cool.
And those are easy planes to land. I wish I was learning on that one.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
Oh, and it's good. I was thinking, God, it would suck because it would be like out the back of the plane. So you're just basically like hanging face down.
Nose down.
Nose down as for the 20 minutes it takes you to land. But I guess if it does it on the top like that, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like that's manageable at least. Are there people in it though? There are people in it, right?
Yeah, for sure. You're not ejecting. It's just in an emergency situation, it helps to bring the plane down safely.
Oh, there's video of this. Let's see what that looks like.
Yeah, the reason the article that he posted says those parachutes for small airplanes really do save lives is the reason that's the headline is because there's been debate in the industry about whether or not those parachutes on Cirrus airplanes actually do anything to, like, in the real world, do they actually have an effect on helping people? Like, does it save your life in a crash or not?
Is that just a matter of not having enough crashes to make reliable data from?
I don't know. It's been an open question in my mind until I saw the headline there. So I've got that one open in a tab. I'm going to read it later. But yeah,
one of these, they got video of one landing on a busy freeway. Jeez Louise.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's we're taught also you don't land on an interstate unless it's an absolute emergency.
Yeah, no, you know what? I agree with them. I think that's a good idea to avoid that.
Well, the thing is that it's very dangerous. You might save your life, but what happens if that propeller slices through a car?
Right. Right. Ain't nobody want that in their life.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, this is fascinating stuff as usual. Bobby, always good having you on. And if you want to hear more fantastic science coverage, all around science rather, is your show. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Anything going on in your latest episode you'd like to tell people about?
Oh yeah, this is a good one. The one that just came out yesterday, all around science. So we decided to do something a little bit different. There's been all this talk about Chat GPT, the chat bot, you know.
Yep.
So we got Chat GPT to write us an explanation of a science topic in the form of a 2-character play and a multiple scene 2-character play, and Maura and I performed the play on the show.
Wow,
That's great!
That
oh my
is
god,
great.
that sounds hilarious.
I
It
wrote.
was very fun.
I replied to a client using it. I wanted to
Did
see.
you really?
Yeah, I wanted to see how well it would create the email based on a few simple prompts about the reply.
Yeah, did you? So would you copied and pasted the email from them into Chat GPT?
No, but I copied and pasted the stuff they were asking about and
Gotcha.
a little bit of background on me so it could pull some stuff up. And it did it. I had to edit it. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
It thinks I host a show called something. I can't remember now.
Play Cortro.
So, I wish it was even something. It was a weird show I'd never heard of, so it had me confused in that way. But that was easy to fix. So with just a couple of tweaks, it actually was a pretty good, well-structured and accurate email.
It does a good job. You can have a conversation with it, and it remembers the things that you were talking.
That you
to
said
it
in the
about.
past.
It
Wow.
felt a little weird. I have to admit,
It
like
is.
not.
And we talk all about that on this episode that just came out yesterday. So that's all around science, and our feature is we talk about. It's mostly we're talking about ChatGPT, but we did it with that first.
Check this out. I asked it to. This was days ago. I just saved it. I said, provide a. I think I sent this to Brian. Provide a short promotional description of the Morning Stream podcast. And it said, the Morning Stream is a daily podcast that delivers a fresh and entertaining start to your day. Hosted by Scott Johnson and Brian Ibbett, this show features a mix of news, pop culture, and personal stories, all with a healthy dose of humor. Whether you're looking for a distraction from the daily grind or just want to hear some funny stories, the Morning Stream is a perfect way to start your day. Tune in and join the conversation. You won't regret it. Now, here's what I love. I did the same thing.
It doesn't mention poop jokes or I guess it does
No.
mention Brian, but it does not mention.
It doesn't mention poop jokes, but I did the same thing for Film Sack, exact same question, but just subbed out that, and it did a really good job. But at the end, it said, "Tune in and join the conversation. You won't regret it." It keeps doing that every time. Every time.
And we talk a little bit about that in the episode too, because what I did was I tried to generate the script. Asked it to make me a script, and then when I was like, I want something a little bit different. And again, to what I was saying, it remembers. I didn't retype a prompt. I just said, that was really good. Can you do the same thing, but can you tweak this a little bit? And it just comes up with another one. And you start to be able to see the seam lines.
The chinks in the armor.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's easy to look at it.
I just tried the Joe Rogan podcast, and it ends with, tune in and join the conversation. You'll most certainly regret it.
Oh, it's a slight change. Oh,
Slight
weird,
change, yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I did it for Core and I got it all wrong. I said, it says the Core podcast is an informative and educational podcast. I mean, dead stop there. That's definitely not what we are. But it says that helps listeners understand the complexities of the core values that shape and drive our society. And of course ends with tune in and join.
Did you look up and see if maybe there's another Core podcast that they're talking about?
I did, and I could not find anything. So
Okay.
I think it just made it up. But at the end, it did say tune in and join the conversation. You won't regret it. So fun stuff.
Did
It really did. It did on every single podcast description. It added that line. So robots aren't quite there yet. Anyway, we'll get there. Bobby, always a pleasure. Tomorrow you'll be here co-hosting the show, sitting in for Brian while he's on his appointment. We appreciate you doing that for us.
Looking forward to
Bobby.
it.
Yeah, it'll be great. Is there anything else you want to say or do or say?
Nibby get bit bit.
Whoa, that came. I didn't expect that, but
What?
I know we'll take
I
it.
think we were expecting him to get cut off mid.
I think he did, and I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for today's show. I do want to say that Play Retro will be now. It depends on a message I just got from Dunaway because we might be doing this tomorrow. Now, hold on. We're doing it tomorrow. So tomorrow at 3:30 Mountain Time, not today, but tomorrow 3:30 Mountain Time on Wednesday, just this week. Normally it's Tuesdays. We'll be doing Play Retro. We're going to talk about all the rated R 8-bit NES games, and by that I mean like RoboCop and like Terminator And these movies that were, rated R films but turned into games kids were supposed to buy.
Kid-friendly games. Oh, I'm RoboCop, and I'm gonna completely destroy this gas tanker.
That's right, and do it in the most rated G way possible on your console.
Right, yes.
So that'll be tomorrow, 3:30 Mountain Time for that, and tomorrow, of course, a brand new show with Recommendals and Tom. And Bobby and no Brian, but we'll all be here waiting to hear stories on Thursday about how it went. And
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait to come back with stories about cursing her out because she bent my leg the wrong way.
That's
can't
right.
wait.
Yep. Maybe she'll touch you in your private swimsuit place. You never know. You got to be careful when these.
What kind of therapy is this?
Excuse me, I think it's my back, not my groin. Anyway, in the meantime, if you like this show, and I know you do because you wouldn't be listening otherwise, go support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. That would be really, really cool. Do you want great monthly benefits, art in the mail, and no commercials ever? How about pre-show content every single day there's a show? Well, you'll get it right here at patreon.com/TMS. And that will send us. We need more voicemails, especially ones that they say things and not just make noises.
Yeah, ones that aren't just heavy breathing and shaking your runts at us.
Yeah, I do love those though. So when you can, please leave us one 801-471-0462. If you'd rather email us, you can always do that at themorningstream@gmail.com. That number also takes texts. All right, Brian, let's get out of here. What is the deal with the music here at the end?
Sure. Well, Shane Maddox wrote in. We love Shane. He says, hello, Strinstadt and Burgerl. I'm sure I butchered those. On January 28th, help, it's happening. I will be turning the big 4-0.
Let's party!
He says, I think I probably started listening to Scott when I was about 24. Yikes.
Whoa.
Last year, Brian prayed me a Metallica cover. So this year, I'm hoping for a Linkin Park cover this year. I absolutely loved the Can't Help Falling in Love dark version by Tommy Prophet that you played on the show. So I'm thinking his version of In the End would be perfect. That's the song that first got me into singing and continues to be one of my absolute favorites. Are we still saying, there we go. Are we still saying Stafe? See, he even put one in there. So I wouldn't feel bad about saying Brian prayed me a Metallica cover. So are we still saying safe? Saying Stafe? Jesus Christ.
It's hard, but I like his attempt, and I like how you did it. I think it was great. It was perfect.
Yeah. My mind's been flying because I've had to pee for like the last 8 minutes, and I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to leave and interrupt Bobby. I've just been kind of dancing here.
You're more pee than man right now.
I'm more pee than man. Like everything's yellow. Anyway, In the End by Tommy Prophet from the album Covers Volume 1 from 2018. Here is In the End.
In the end, here it is. Wait, why can't? Okay, there we go.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
I just cut through a steel plate with a beam of light.
Whoa! Holy crap!
You don't say.
Do you need to pee? Go pee. You should go pee.